We'll now start what's trending today with reactions trailing comments made by the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike on what feels like his multi-city tour of Rivers State. Now, speaking yesterday in Ahuada East, he publicly called the current state governor, Fubara, a bad child because, according to him, he killed a critical youth empowerment program in the state. But meanwhile, in Asari Toru local government area, Wike also congratulated in advance his rainbow coalition of candidates drawn from across the political parties, assuring they'll all be elected in 2027. Let's watch.
I employed the Rivers State youths, 10,000. The person we handed over power to, instead of allowing the 10,000 youth to cancel that job. 10,000 youth. A bad child is a bad child. Nigeria used to respect us. But I don't know what it is today. You will tell.
Now, all of these stops that we've been talking about this week is Wike personally traveling to the 23 local government areas of Rivers State to show his appreciation to the people he says stood by him and the president in 2023. And I'll take some quick reactions. Paul says, Wike canceled a Rivers State scholarship scheme that benefited even children of the poor, Buguma Fishing and Songhai Farm. Not that he employed 10,000 youths, he approved them before leaving office and Fubara canceled. Why didn't he employ them at the beginning of his tenure? Then the chairman tweeted, a whole elected governor is a child to Wike. This is what democracy has turned into in Nigeria. And finally, Benny wrote, who is taking charge of the FCT? And that last tweet is especially apt because it's what a lot of people on social media have been wondering. Because while Wike is in Rivers, police in Abuja are now investigating what appears to be the return of one chance operators in the federal capital. Yesterday, we talked about the death of nurse Chinemerem Chukwumeziem, and we have pictures of her. But now we're learning also that Princess Mediatrix there on the right, a former treasurer of the Nigerian Bar Association, was discovered earlier this week along the Kubwa Expressway with her bag flung a short distance away from her body. Now, the FCT police PR officer, her name is Josephine Ade, on Wednesday confirmed this incident and that investigations are ongoing to figure out the circumstances around the killings. And Dr. Abati, I'll come to you on this because we talked about this yesterday. Wike is in Rivers. He isn't necessarily in charge of security in Abuja, but it's almost as if people are still holding him accountable for what happens there. So how should we see these two stories together, if at all?
Okay, I made the point yesterday that we should not overstretch the logic. The fact that Wike is in Port Harcourt on a frolic of his own, as it were, does not mean he's responsible for the security problems in the Federal Capital Territory. The Federal Capital Territory has a special dispensation. You have in that Federal Capital Territory alone the Brigade of Guards, you have the DMI, you have the DSS, you have the police, you have the civil defense, you have, a multiplicity of security agencies whose primary responsibility is to fulfill the objective of Section 14(2) of the 1999 Constitution, which is to ensure the responsibility of government to provide security and welfare for the people of Nigeria. It's not an individual responsibility, it's an institutional responsibility. And that's why I say, whether Wike is in Abuja or not, if there are security problems, it's not about the individual sitting down there. It's about the integrity of the institutions responsible for security. And that's what we need to strengthen, is the system that we have to strengthen. So even if Wike were in Abuja, he himself could be abducted. If he goes in public transport and is unfortunate, either him or any member of his families, to enter one chance, they could also be victims. So, but the whole thing is of a larger dimension, and that is my point. So I will not join others to say because Wike is not in Abuja, that's why there is a problem of insecurity, or because a governor is not in his state, that's why a problem happened in the. That would be utterly simplistic. And if I dare say, it won't follow the logic. I don't want to use a stronger word. So I will excuse Wike in that regard. But when he misbehaves as a public official, it is part of our responsibility to point it out. The principle in law is voluntae non fit injuria. If you don't like heat, don't go near the kitchen. So if you are a public official, you are fair game. We have the job to point out your flaws. When you leave that position, you can become a private citizen. Now, in terms of he going door to door, word to word, house to house, saying he's campaigning for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu with his band of jesters who call themselves, is it a musical band? What other funny name do they give themselves? We say that the Independent National Electoral Commission has not yet said you can start campaign. So it is an act of irresponsibility for you to be going around campaigning and you are saying you will deliver local governments, you will deliver clans and villages to the president when INEC has not said you can start campaigns. So who is going to call him to order? A man who has said River State belongs to him and that anybody or nobody cannot speak to him. And I guess that the point I made yesterday, when you stretch that and anybody, River State is a no-go area, I guess that includes the president of Nigeria. That the president of Nigeria cannot even say anything about what is going on in River State. So that's, I use the word again, delusional. And I think that, this kind of irresponsibility should not be allowed. There should be limits to it. The third thing is that I think that Mr. Wike is exposing the president of Nigeria to gross embarrassment. In fact, he is undermining the authority of the same president that he says he wants to help. Okay, where is the authority of the president? If a man says he's campaigning on your behalf, you can be guilty by association. And then you look the other way. Your administration looks the other way. You are violating the same guidelines and principles and provisions and protocols of the electoral body. And the onus is on the president to ensure fair play, to ensure that there is a level playing field for everybody. The fourth point is that Minister Wike, which is the point we have said again and again on this platform, no matter whose ox is God, is fighting in the People's Democratic Party, who have said he's not members of the party have said he's not a member of their party. He has been expelled. The same party, the president's party that he says he's helping, they have said he's unknown to them because he's not a member of their party. So where is his authority coming from? On whose authority is he acting and, heating up the polity? So these are the various issues. But let us just hope that at the end of the day, when the president returns, maybe the president will be able to call his self-appointed gladiator, campaigner, promoter to order. And that the president himself will have will summon the authority to say, please, enough is enough. Stop embarrassing me. Because the same way this particular politician has divided the PDP, he can even end up dividing the president's party that has said he's not a member. The chairman of the party is complaining. The spokesperson of the party is complaining. The national secretary, which is the title of Senator Bashiru, is also complaining. So what's going on? We ask, what is going on? And that is a fair comment for those who talk about fairness.
Yes, I know you want to move on, but we have some breaking news from our newsroom, which is that in relation to this, members of the River State House of Assembly have begun impeachment proceedings against Governor Fubara. That's currently ongoing. That's coming from our newsroom. So, just speaking to all of these dynamics, in the morning, I remember I had said that, well, this is a gamble he's taking. That's Nyesom Wike, and it will be interesting to see whether this is a gamble that will pay off. But in essence, I think the major thing is that, which is the point I'd made in the morning, is that Nigerian politics is Machiavellian in nature. It's about those who have the most power, and power in this climb is money. And if you look at all of the members of the House of Assembly, majority of them, whether they be APC or PDP, he sponsored most of them to be where they are. So I suppose this is what's giving him the confidence to say that he has this rainbow coalition and to call the governor a bad child, because he still controls the House, the River State House of Assembly, and now they've instituted impeachment proceedings. What will happen next? Remember last time something like this happened, it led to the state of emergency in the state. We just hope that it doesn't break down law and order. I know you have to move on to the next part, but because it was breaking, I just felt it was apt to bring it in.
Absolutely, and that's such a big deal. Yes, the fact that the House of Assembly have started impeachment proceedings against Governor Fubara, and we'll stay on politics.